Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us here on the Noon News. I'm Samantha Sullivan. A year-long study just released this morning from the Northern Plains Resource Council shows cleaning up contaminated ponds at the Colstrip Power Complex in eastern Montana has the potential to create hundreds of high-paying jobs for decades to come. MTN's Jay Cohn has more.
As Montana lawmakers debate the future of the Colstrip power plants and what role the state should play in that future, a new study indicates cleaning up the huge coal ash ponds behind the plants could provide the necessary jobs and economic vitality needed for Colstrip's long-term survival. That study, entitled Doing It Right 2, outlines how storing coal ash in a dry location high above the aquifer is the best outcome for both the community and the environment.
We are very excited about this study because it does show that coal ash cleanup is a huge job creator, and it is also a way to permanently remediate groundwater pollution for the use of agriculture and the greater Colstrip community.
Becky Mitchell chairs the Northern Plains Resource Council, a grassroots conservation and family agriculture group. The new study, she says, offers Colstrip a bridge to the future, tapping into its skilled workforce to clean up the contamination that has ruined the town's groundwater.
The ponds are leaking. The coal ash is highly toxic, and they're in contact with the groundwater. The groundwater seeps up into the ponds, mixes with the coal ash, and then seeps back out into the groundwater. And so the groundwater is a continuous source of pollution.
Cleaning up the coal ash is a huge task. The ponds cover more than 800 surface acres. The contaminated water is hazardous to humans, wildlife, and livestock due to its dangerously high levels of selenium, manganese, cobalt, molybdenum, and radium. Talon Energy, the owner-operator of the Colstrip plants, has submitted a cap-in-place plan for the ponds, but Northern Plains says that won't stop the pollution.
As long as that pond is in contact with groundwater, it's not going to stop the pollution.
As you'd expect, the price tag for such a cleanup is huge. Total cost of high and dry estimated at $925 million over the next 40 years. By comparison, Talon's cap-in-place proposal, $409 million through the same time frame. And as for jobs, the extensive cleanup offers direct jobs on an equally massive scale. Talon's proposal would amount to 91.6 yearly jobs between now and 2029. The high and dry plan, 218.2 jobs during that same time. Northern Plains points out the high and dry plan is a permanent fix to Colstrip's groundwater pollution, while Talon's proposed cap-in-place plan would allow for the pollution to reemerge down the road. And as for who pays, that is the responsibility of the plant's owners. In Billings, I'm Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
And Jay tells us it's important to know that the current bill in the legislature, Senate Bill 331, that would allow Northwestern Energy to purchase additional megawatts of Colstrip Unit 4, prohibits any shifting of the liability for the environmental cleanup of Colstrip to Northwestern Energy's customers. Well, 2.5 weeks after a Montana Highway Patrol trooper was ambushed and shot 3 times in western Montana, finally, some good news. Trooper Wade Palmer has regained consciousness. Montana Department of Justice spokesman John Barnes said Palmer's medical status has improved and he's been moved from the University of Utah Hospital's Neurological Critical Care Unit to the Neuro Acute Care Unit. All of Palmer's interactions have been nonverbal so far, but he has shown recognition of certain people and different commands. He's scheduled for reconstructive surgery for jaw injuries tomorrow. A Missoula man is behind bars, charged with leading police on a high-speed chase and nearly hitting oncoming traffic while going the wrong way. Police say 29-year-old Kevin Oquist struck a Chinese restaurant with his car. When officers tried to pull him over, he sped off, going the wrong way on Orange Street east to I-90. Then his car went off the road. He ran, but he was then caught. He faces criminal endangerment charges. A retired Great Falls Catholic priest will plead guilty to viewing thousands of pictures of child pornography. Lothar Caruth will appear in court next week, Monday. Federal agents received a tip about the child porn in October of last year. Agents searched his home and found thousands of images of child pornography. He was assigned to Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church until 2014. Well, new this afternoon, Republican Senator Al Olszewski has thrown in his name for the hat for the 2020 gubernatorial race. He made that announcement just about 30 minutes ago. Olszewski is a Republican state senator and an orthopedic surgeon from Kalispell. He lost to Matt Rosendale in the 2018 Republican primary for U.S. Senate. So far, both Attorney General Tim Fox and Secretary of State Corey Stapleton have said they will run for governor in 2020. And meanwhile, Democrat Kathleen Williams will kick off her 2020 campaigns this Friday in Billings, but she's not saying which office she'll run for. The former Bozeman legislator has three options: the U.S. House, the U.S. Senate, or the open governor's seat. Williams lost her congressional bid in 2018 to Republican Representative Greg Gianforte, who is believed to be considering a run for governor as well. And the first Democrat to officially announce a run for Montana's lone seat in Congress in 2020 comes out of Missoula. 32-year-old Tom Winter says he's running. Winter, who just won his legislative seat last fall, says he wants to make health care a top priority. And now we'll turn things on over to Ed in the Weather Center. Ed, things are warming up, but there's still quite a bit of snow out there.
Absolutely. We still need to be building more snow, and it's typical for us to get more snow into the mountains well in through the month of April and into the month of May. Right now, we're running pretty close to the seasonal averages, a little bit below in areas of north central and northwest Montana, but pretty typical through the southern portion of Montana and through much of northern Wyoming. Overall, for the western portion of the country, we're actually running with the snowpack numbers a little above the average, but in the last 10 years, that's only been true 3 of those 10 years. So an upturn for this year. Take a closer look at the short-term forecast, see if we can add any mountain snow. Details are coming up.
Thanks, Ed. Helena School District leaders say their budget is unsustainable, and now they're proposing a levy. The district says projected costs for employee salaries could put the budget $6 million out of balance by 2024. So the board has presented a 5-year plan. It includes asking for a levy in May, which would raise about $100,000 a year, and essentially max out the district's tools for raising more revenue. The superintendent says an additional $900,000 is still needed just to balance this year's budget. The Montana Department of Justice and the Montana National Guard are reminding veterans to be wary of businesses that charge for their military records. State officials say they have recently learned of several companies who charge a fee to obtain service records, and say the concern is these services show up in searches and can lead to veterans to believe that these are the only way to get their documents. However, the Montana National Guard says veterans can request these documents quickly and easily through the mail or online at no cost. Well, coming up here on the Noon News, more accusations of inappropriate behavior against former Vice President Joe Biden, how Washington is reacting. But first, we're on the warm-up for now, but what does the weekend have in store? Ed will have a full forecast right after the break.
You're watching MTN News with Samantha Sullivan, Storm Tracker weather with Ed McIntosh, and Farm and Ranch News from the Montana Ag Network. This is the Noon News on Q2, Montana's news leader.